I was standing in my parents' kitchen, well, technically my sister's new kitchen, with my hands shaking so hard I had to grip the counter to keep from losing it. The brand new marble surface was warm under the bright pendant lights they'd installed. My mother was smiling like she'd personally overseen the construction of the Taj Mahal. And then, my dad said it. "We're just glad your emergency fund went to good use. She needed this upgrade way more." I swear the room went silent, like the house itself was waiting to see what I'd do. My sister stood there holding a sparkling new faucet like it was a trophy she'd earned. "You used my emergency fund on this?" I whispered. But before I tell you what I upgraded and how everything blew up even bigger than that ridiculous $17,000 kitchen, let me take you back. Because none of this started with a kitchen. It started with a family that liked to pretend we were all equal, when we absolutely were not. I grew up watching my sister Emma glide through life like some golden child chosen by the universe. Teachers adored her, coaches praised her. My parents practically believed the sun rose because she woke up. Me? I was the responsible one. The kid who didn't complain. The kid who saved money instead of spending it. The kid who didn't need help. That was the line I heard every time I achieved something. When I got a scholarship, "You're the independent one, honey." When I paid off my first used car, "See, you take care of yourself." When I opened an emergency fund at 24, "Wow, we never had to teach you that." I didn't realize it was code for, "We're not going to help you, but your sister, always." If you were in my shoes, would you have noticed the favoritism earlier? The real shift happened the day I came home with a letter that said I'd been promoted at work. I burst through the door, excited. "Mom, Dad, guess what?" My dad barely looked up from the couch. "Can you help your sister with the boxes in the garage? She hurt her wrist." I just stood there with that promotion letter in my hand like an idiot. "Sure," I muttered. I found Emma in the garage, scrolling her phone while sitting on an unopened box. "You need help lifting something?" I asked. "Oh, yeah." She didn't move. "Just stack those against the wall." I looked at the boxes. They were labeled, in big black marker, "Emma's apartment decor, fragile." She was moving out into her first place, something my parents financed to help her get started. Meanwhile, I'd been paying rent since I turned 18. "They look heavy," I said. She shrugged. "You're stronger anyway." She didn't even put her phone down. That's when I started noticing, really noticing. The way my mother's voice changed around her, softer, brighter. The way my father bragged only about her accomplishments. The way every family decision involved making her life easier. It stung, but I pushed it down. I kept saving, working, building my future. I didn't know yet that my own parents were about to sabotage the one safety net I had. It started with a phone call. "Sweetie," my mom said in her too sweet voice, "your sister's kitchen is falling apart." I blinked. She's been in that apartment for 4 months. "She has the worst luck. The cabinets are peeling, the countertops are damaged, and her sink keeps leaking." "So tell her to call her landlord," I said. My mom sighed dramatically. "He won't fix it. He says it's cosmetic." That sounds illegal. Before I could suggest she talk to a tenants' rights office, my dad took the phone. "We're thinking of helping her renovate, just something small." There it was, the Help Emma campaign, again. "Okay," I said. "I mean, that's up to you." I didn't think anything more of it. Not until 2 weeks later, when my bank app sent me a notification. Your balance is below $500. My stomach dropped so hard, I thought I'd thrown up something intangible. I froze on my couch, staring at the number. Something was wrong. Very wrong. My emergency fund had nearly $18,000 in it. Now it had $472. I scrolled through the transactions. 3 charges from a hardware store, 2 from a contractor, 1 from a specialty marble distributor, all labeled authorized by joint account holder. Joint account holder? It took me 3 minutes to remember something stupid and seemingly harmless. At 19, I'd added my dad to my savings account as a backup contact because the bank rep said it was safer for minors. I never removed him. My chest tightened. He had access. He had taken my money. I called him immediately. He answered casually. "Hey, kiddo." "Dad," my voice cracked. "Did you take money from my savings account?" Silence. Then, "Oh, that?" My voice rose. "You emptied my emergency fund?" "Well, not emptied," he said. "There's some left." $472, I shouted. "Honey," my mom chimed in from the background, "you weren't using it." "I wasn't using it because it was an emergency fund." "You're overreacting," she said. "Your sister needed help." I swear the world tilted a little. "You stole from me." "We borrowed," my dad corrected. "We'll pay you back." They didn't even sound sorry, just annoyed that I was upset. You ever have that moment where betrayal rewrites your entire history in seconds? That was mine. And I knew, right then, I couldn't let this go. Not this time. But confronting them right away would have just led to another stop being dramatic lecture. I needed leverage. I needed facts. I needed a plan. First, I called the bank. "Hi, I need to remove someone from my account." They asked for ID, documents, verification codes, everything short of my blood type. When it was done, I changed every password I had. 1 layer of control restored. The next step? I began gathering every receipt and transaction from the renovation, every contractor invoice, every supply list, every withdrawal. I printed everything, made a little folder. And then something weird appeared. A second account, a house projects fund, one my dad had opened using my name and his without my knowledge. And guess what? That fund had also been drained. But the real kicker? Half the charges weren't even for the kitchen. They were for new furniture, spa treatments, a trip to a resort Emma had just come back from. My money hadn't just fixed her kitchen, it had upgraded her whole lifestyle. And this part? This is when things got messy. My sister had known. I confirmed it when I called the contractor pretending to be Emma's assistant. "Is this for the full remodel?" I asked. "Yup," he said. "Your sister approved the deluxe package." She approved it. She approved it, using my fund. My hands shook as I hung up. Tell me honestly, what would you have done at that point? Confront them? Lawyer up? Explode? I chose something different. I chose to set a trap. 2 days later, my mom announced a family dinner. "Your sister wants to show off her new place," she said. "You should come." Of course she did. When I walked in, the kitchen looked like a showroom. Gold handles, white marble, a giant farmhouse sink, pendant lights that looked like floating crystal. "Do you love it?" Emma squealed, hugging me with fake enthusiasm. "It's something," I said. My mom rolled her eyes. "Don't be jealous." I nearly laughed. Jealous of a kitchen bought with my money? Dinner was awkwardly perfect. My parents gushed, Emma boasted. Then my dad raised his glass. A toast to family and to our ability to support each other. That was the moment I decided to end it. I pulled out a stack of papers and placed them on the new island. "What's that?" my mom asked. "An invoice or evidence, depending on how you want to frame it." My dad frowned. "Evidence of what?" "Identity fraud," I said softly. "Unauthorized use of funds, illegal access to my account, theft over $15,000. Emma's fork clattered. "Oh my God, you're joking." I looked right at her. "You approved the deluxe package?" Her face drained. Dad said, "Don't," I cut her off. "I recorded the call with your contractor." My mom stood. "You wouldn't call the police on your own family." "I wouldn't have, but you didn't give me a choice." My dad slammed his hand on the table. "We're your parents." "And I'm your daughter," I said, "not your bank." A long, terrifying silence stretched across the room. Then my dad tried again. "We'll pay you back." "When?" I asked. He hesitated. I leaned forward. "Because I already froze the accounts. All of them." He went pale. "Yup, that was the twist. Remember that second account he opened with my name? Well, legally, since it carried my name and was never disclosed to me, I had full rights to freeze it, pending investigation. And I did. Guess what I found inside? A family savings fund my parents had contributed to for years. Almost $60,000. My dad whispered, What did you do?" "I consulted a lawyer," I said. "The account is frozen until the matter is resolved. You stole $17,528 from me. The law calls that financial abuse." My mother's voice shook. "You're destroying this family." I stood. "No," I said. "I'm ending the part where you use me as the fallback plan while treating me like I'm less than." My sister burst into tears. My dad looked older than I'd ever seen him. My mom looked furious, but powerless. I took a deep breath. "I'm giving you a choice," I said calmly. "Pay me back in full within 60 days, or I let the investigation continue." My dad swallowed hard. "Where would we even get that money?" I raised an eyebrow. "You have $60,000 sitting in that secret account. Use it." That was the moment my mother gasped like I'd slapped her. "You snooped?" "You stole," I said. "One of us is allowed to be angry here, and it's not you." Then, my favorite part, I slid my keys onto the counter. "And just so you know, I also upgraded something." My mom narrowed her eyes. "What?" "My life," I said. "I used the legal leverage to negotiate something else with the bank." My dad blinked. "What leverage?" I smiled. "I had your unauthorized withdrawals documented. The bank flagged your accounts. And guess who now qualifies for a first-time homeowner's grant?" I paused. "Me." My sister choked. "You bought a house?" "Yup," I said. "And the down payment came from reversing the fraudulent transactions. Legally, you paid for my house." The room imploded. My mom started yelling, my sister kept crying, my dad just sat there, stunned. I turned to leave. My mom grabbed my arm. "You can't do this. Families forgive." I pulled away. "Families also respect boundaries. You broke mine." Then I walked out, and I didn't look back. 2 months later, they paid me back every penny. Not because they wanted to, but because they didn't want a criminal record. My sister stopped speaking to me entirely. My mom sends stiff, polite holiday texts. My dad, well, he tries. I let him try. And me? I moved into my new house, painted the walls myself, bought my own furniture, stood in my kitchen, simple, clean, mine, and felt peace for the first time in years. I didn't just upgrade my life, I reclaimed it. What did I learn? That being the responsible one doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. That boundaries aren't rude. That family loyalty doesn't mean tolerating betrayal. And that sometimes the best upgrade is walking away. So let me ask you, would you have forgiven them, or would you have walked away like I did?